Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome back to another Marvel United unboxing. This is for Civil War. This is video part 2. For some reason, you're here without checking out part 1. Video part 1, we went over the new PvP rules. There's the Clash of Heroes and the Civil War. Two different modes. Either Clash of Heroes, where just you play team versus team. Either 2 or 3 heroes against each other. 2 versus 2 or 3 versus 3. And just kind of like the rumble up of heroes that like misunderstand their battles or trying to like compete over who gets to rescue or defeat thugs, and they fight each other and just competing for points. Or you can play the Civil War registration version, which is an asymmetric, where one team plays as Team Red, which is Captain America's, Iron Man's anti-registration team, trying to stop the blue team, which is Captain America's anti-registration team. Pro and anti. And they're trying to complete 5 missions in a certain number of turns. And the red team just trying to stop them from doing that. So it's pretty cool. And then you can always play a longer mode where you switch back and forth between the two. But they're both really neat modes where you get to just play as heroes against heroes. And again, you can play a solo player can play 2 characters against another solo playing as 2, or you can have up to 6 extra people playing against each other. Some really neat stuff. So go ahead and check that out if you want more on that. I do also talk about what the Civil War storyline is. So you can hit me that if you want to know a little bit more about that. This video, we are going to go over the locations. We have our locations here. And our 10 heroes. Now, I did mention in the part 1, this is a retail box. So you can go ahead and pick this up. Hopefully it'll be in your gaming stores or wherever they're selling retail stuff. But there is also a Kickstarter version of this as well, which has 2 additional heroes. So we'll say Civil War Kickstarter on there. So keep an eye on if you want the one with the additional heroes. So in the game, we will have our heroes we see on the front of the box. Captain America, Team Blue, but again, you can mix and match them. Kate Bishop, Goliath, and Spectrum. On Team Red, we have Iron Man, Wonder Man, Tigra, and Yellow Jacket. The 2 Kickstarter exclusive characters are Hulkling and Iron Spider. So if you want those 2 additional characters, make sure you are picking up the Kickstarter version. So if you just see this available online, you just see Civil War, I check with whoever you're ordering it from. If you're picking up in a game store, make sure you look on the back. It does show these extra characters, so you're not missing out on those cool stuff. We'll go over those 2 at the end, but first we're going to go ahead and hop into our locations. Alright, so we are going to start, we got to back this up a little bit farther. We're going to start with Washington, D.C. Of course, this is where they make all the demands on the pro registration. The Superhuman Registration Act says you may draw 1 card if you do discard 1 card. This is also a cool thing with locations with these PvP modes. They don't have threat cards covering the bottom thing, so these end of turn effects happen a lot more often because you don't have to defeat something to be able to activate them. Potentially. Just watch the video to see what I mean for that. They make discard, draw a card to discard a draw. Cool. We have Sokovia. Which, of course, in the cinematic universe is where Civil War ended up at. It got caused because of this, because Age of Ultron happened, and then Baron Zemo ended up kind of fostering the Civil War between Iron Man and Captain America because his Sokovia got attacked. You may discard 1 card to rescue 1 civilian or defeat 1 thug in this or an adjacent location. The Raft. The maximum security prison. You may discard 1 card or action token to move to any other location with a henchman and deal 1 damage to them. Interesting. They discard 1. Move to any other location with a henchman and deal 1. So it's like you're escaping and you're like attacking the guy that sent you to jail. Is that the idea? Interesting. We have Garrick Castle. So this is, I believe this is Baron Zemo's castle, if I remember right. If you only have one card in your hand, you may either draw one or gain a heroic or action token. The Avengers at one point set up the Avengers Mountain. Oh, it's like it's on a celestial. It says end of the turn. If you are alone here, you may gain. So you have none of your team on there. Enemies can still be in there. You may gain one move token or discard one action token to the first damage and crisis token you would take on the next villain turn. And then finally, we have the bar with no name. This is where all the villains hang out. So we can see Loki there. Can't really see who else is in there, but yeah, so all the villains kind of go to hang out and chill where heroes aren't allowed. If you're alone here, you may fill any empty slots in this location by moving thugs from an adjacent location. If you do, you may defeat one thug here. Cool. You can bring a bunch of guys with you and then punch one in the face and take them out. Awesome. Alright, we're going to go ahead and look at our characters. So first off, we're going to look at, we have these ring bases from the other game. They just snap right to the bottom of your characters. Sticking there pretty well. Now there's going to be, I think all heroes should be fine with this. Obviously these aren't going to work on some of the villains. Some of the villains have bigger bases. But yeah, so they keep track. We also have the red and blue ones from X-Men set as well. Or, not red, blue, yellow and blue. Gold, red and blue and gold, rather. Alright, so we're going to start with Captain America. So we already had Captain America in the original game in the base set. This is listed as Captain America Classic. So this is supposed to be like the... Interestingly enough, this is supposed to be an older version of Captain America that wouldn't have been part of the Civil War. But it's neat that we're going to get an additional version, a little upgraded version of him. Such as that miniature there. Definitely cool. So he has the his stale armor there. He's throwing his shield, which is really neat. They did that as a little grasp down there. Plus, there's the flag. Which is really neat. It's a really cool way to do that. It's an action pose versus his original one where he's kind of just standing there. So what does good old Steve Rogers do for us? So Steve Rogers has some basic cards. Of course, he has movement, move attack, double attack, move heroic, double heroic, his wild, his double wild, and then he has his special abilities. So the original one had lots of leadership cards, if I remember right. So you can do stuff to give other people tokens and stuff. This one has a little bit more combat stuff. It says Master Shield Fighter. It doesn't attack. If this is used to defeat a thug, you may attack an adjacent location. Then if this is used to defeat a thug, you may attack in another adjacent location. So you can hit two thugs, but again, they have to be able to take them out. So sometimes you have threat cards that give thugs 2 hit points, so it won't be able to take them out. Master Strategist. Each other hero may immediately do a wild. So he doesn't hand out tokens, but he does give out wilds. Hero of the People. Double heroic. These actions may only be used to rescue civilians. So you can't use them for other things, like threats and stuff. And then I can do this all day, so of course they had to add this one in there. As long as this card stays up in the storyline, you may gain 1 heroic and 1 attack token when recovering from KO. Cool. Awesome. So then the other thing we got is we have equipment cards which were introduced in Season 3. If you, for some reason, didn't check out the base game video, the core set, and learn about these, how they work is any hero that has equipment may remove their double wild to be able to use them. If you're playing either of the PvP modes, they already say you're supposed to remove all your double wilds regardless. And if you have equipment or the generic equipment from the base game, you may use them because not every character has an equipment card. But yeah, these are supposed to help, like with lots of challenges and other things, is just kind of, your deck is a little bit more even. And then they'll have different effects on there. So his says, Captain America's shield says, use on your turn to attack in an adjacent location, or use on a villain turn to ignore 1 damage dealt to any hero in your location, and then turn this face down. So they're an attack or a defense, and then when you turn it face down, This has the recharge ability. It says at the beginning of your turn, discard 1 action token to turn this face up. So he can keep using this repeatedly over and over as need be, which is always a fun thing to be able to do. Alright, let's look at our next hero. We're going to stick with the blue team, which is Captain America's anti-registration team. And our next character up is Monica Rambeau, also known as Spectrum, or Photon, or Captain Marvel, depending on what version. This is the Spectrum version. Again, I love this. She's also from we've seen her in the Marvels TV series. We get that version. She has the coat on, which is from when she was part of when they had Avengers Mountain, and it was her, Blue Marvel, I think, War Machine, someone. They were basically the new Illuminati. They're like the global Avengers. But yeah, there she is in her cool thing. She's like a star base. So she has light-based powers. She used to do that. So let's see what she actually does. She just controls some light. So she has an attack ability. Heroic. Move and attack. Move and heroic. Move, heroic. Heroic attack. Single wild, double wild, and some special abilities. She has intangibility. You cannot take any damage until the beginning of your next turn. Energy Blast. She has 2 of those, which do double attack in adjacent location, and she gets a move. And then she has a starting hand card. She gets to start with Energy Source. As long as this card is faced up in the storyline, once per turn when another hero deals damage to an enemy in your location, they may perform 1 free attack there. Yeah, so she is to help guys do some extra attacks, which is pretty fun. Alright, our next, not quite so miniature, this is our first giant character we're going to get. We have Goliath, Bill Foster. And I like to keep running this as a cinematic universe because a lot of people know that. He was in Ant-Man and Ant-Man 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp. He was the one helping out Ghost for a while. So we get his miniature, which is not exactly miniature. He has a huge giant because he can grow huge. Now, there are several other characters I could have made like this. We could have gotten an Ant-Man. We could have gotten Wasp, Yellow Jacket. Yeah, he's the first one we're going to get. He works just like every other character. He doesn't have anything extra special for rules for him, per just being a large character. He will unfortunately not have a base ring, so if you're playing red versus blue, but hopefully you can figure out which one of your characters is the giant character. There's a Stark Industries thing below him. The only other giant characters we currently have is Stature, who will be in the Kickstarter exclusive boxes, and the Sentinels. So as a comparison to how big he is versus like Spectrum. So he's fairly big. He's going to take up a big chunk on the board. So we'll kind of set him off to the side. What does good old Bill Foster do for us? This is a terrible... He has heroic image. He sacrificed himself, took a blast, and ended up dying during the Civil War. Which is interesting why we got him too. But yeah, he died to a Ragnarok, or the Thor clone. So we have 2 heroics here. We have a double attack. There he's fighting off against that Thor clone. Move attack. Move attack. Here it shows him growing, which is kind of neat. Move heroic. He's wild. He's double wild. He has 2 copies of Big Fist. Triple attack. Against a single target location, then discard 1 card from your hand to the bottom of your deck. He also has the bigger they are. At the end of the villain turn in which you were KO'd, attach a stun token to the villain or henchman in your or adjacent location, and turn this card face down. The next villain, turn that villain or henchman's BAM is canceled and the stun token is discarded. So just to throw a stun token on them. And then he has a free starting hand card. So this actually works in addition to his regular hand. So he has his extra one, says size, increased size. This card doesn't count as one of your 3 starting hand cards. You start the game with a total of 4 cards. So that's like one slight condition. You get to start with a free wild card as well. Pretty cool. Doesn't have any extra equipment or anything like that, but definitely neat. Alright, up next, we're going to get one of our young Avengers. We have Kate Bishop, Hawkeye. So cool. Again, goes back to the TV series. We're getting a lot of characters that were featured in this TV series, which is really fun. Here's her miniature. She's got her wild hair, her sunglasses. She's got her cool bow. She also like hanging off a target, which is neat. Kind of gives her like a little jumping, she's gonna jump back. Then there's an arrow on the ground. Very cool. Even like the little marks in the back of the board are really neat as well. Alright, what does good old Kate Bishop bring to the table? She is going to bring her dog with her. I want to say his name is Pizza for some reason. Lucky or Pizza. Why can't I remember which? I know he likes to eat pizza. Maybe that's why I'm thinking that. She has move. There she is, kind of her pose they have on the miniature. She has heroic, attack, moving attack, moving heroic, wild, and double wild. And then she has some extra special cards. So she has, can I have your stuff when you're dead? Heroic, or discard 1 action card to recharge one of your trick arrow equipments at the end of your turn. So if you're not using the equipment cards, this card's not as good, but it could be pretty cool. She has skilled marksman, double attack split as you like in both adjacent locations. You drive, I shoot. This turn, when moving, you may bring another hero in your location with you. You may attack in each location you entered by accompanied by a hero. So as long as you bring someone with you, you get extra attacks. So if you have a bunch of movement cards, this could be pretty powerful. And then she has better branding. She replaces her bow with a cell phone. Double heroic for each civilian rescue with the special effect. At the end of the turn, gain 1 heroic token. So pretty cool. So we did see Captain America had an equipment card. She mentioned trick arrows, so she's going to get some of them. I'm going to drop her cards here for a sec. We have explosive arrow. It says use on your turn, do damage or attack against 2 different targets in adjacent locations, and then turn this face down. When you turn this face down, it does have recharge. At the beginning of your turn, discard 2 action tokens to turn this face up. So you can pick it back up. All her arrows are going to have that same recharge effect, so I'm not going to flip them all over. We have trick arrow pin particles. Use on your turn, attach a stun token to a henchman in the adjacent location. Next time their BAM is cancelled, your token is discarded, then turn this face down. She has smoke bomb. Use on your turn, place this card next to an adjacent location. The next villain to heroes in that location can't take any damage. Then take back this card and turn it face down. She set it there just to throw a smoke bomb up. And then finally she has wire. Use on your turn to move and heroic, then turn this face down. So yeah, these are really cool. And then you can again combine it with her other card. You can recharge one of your trick arrows, which is really fun. Yeah, so she gets some extra. She gets more options than Captain America. I believe though you can only use 3 of the 4, so you have to select which ones you want to use. But that's still really cool to be able to have those. And I think Hawkeye also uses trick arrows. Per rules, you're only supposed to use whatever equipment cards are based on the characters. But if Hawkeye has different trick arrows, I don't remember if he does or not. He might have something different. You can opt to you could opt, if you, again, playing your own game, your own rules, you could swap out, mix these arrows together, mix and match them, which would be kind of neat as well. Gives you kind of a reason to own some of the other stuff from the game. Alright, we are going to head to the other side of the team, and we're going to look at Iron Man. The old Tony Stank. Yes, I said that. So here's Iron Man's new miniature, which is kind of his other one. He's going like a repulsor blast down. Here he has a repulsor going forward. Plus it has that clear blast, which is really cool. They don't do that too often, but that definitely looks neat. I don't know if the armor is any different. I'd have to like actually go grab the other miniature and take a look at it. Okay, I think the other one, he has a circle in his chest. This one has the triangle. I think that's kind of showing some of the different armor. Very neat there. Let's look at what he does for us. He has a movement. This is Iron Man, specifically the Civil War version. So, like, getting updated version of him. An attack. Move attack. Move attack. He's still Captain America's shield and flag. Move heroic, double attack, wild, double wild. He has team leader. Up to 2 other heroes may immediately move, so you can move guys around the board. Regenerative systems. You may draw until you have 3 cards in your hand. Repulsors. He has attack in both directions. And resourceful. You may distribute 1 heroic and 1 attack tokens from the pool amongst heroes. So I think he functions the opposite of Captain America. Like, this Captain America in this set has less leadership, giving out tokens and stuff, and more attack cards. Where this Iron Man has more helping out his team. And then I think the original ones are the opposite. The original Iron Man had a lot more attack options versus that. So Iron Man also gets equipment, of course. He has deflector shields. Now, I believe these are the exact same 3 as the other Iron Man can use. They just made them specifically for this in case you didn't own the other sets. Use on your turn. You can't take any damage until the beginning of your next turn, then turn this face down. And then this has exhausted, so it has a little broken icon as opposed to like the trick arrows or Captain America shields having the exclamation for recharge. So it says remove this card from the game. So this is a one-time use effect. Stealth field generator. Use on your turn to move or ignore the first damage you would take on the next villain turn, then turn this face down. And that is rechargeable, so you can recharge his stealth field generator by discarding an action token. And then he has Omni Beam. Use at the end of your turn if you didn't attack. Deal unpreventable 3 hits against a villain or henchman yours from an adjacent location. Then you are KO'd and turn this card face down. Actually, I don't think the regular Iron Man has this. I want to see these are the same ones Hulkbuster has. Move this from the game. So basically, you can spend all his power to do a ton of damage, which might be very helpful. You're down to like 1 card, you're going to get KO'd anyhow. Might be worth doing. Alright. Our next hero is Hank Pym. Yellow Jacket. So we have Ant-Man, but Ant-Man in this game is Scott Lang Ant-Man, not Hank Pym. They could have also done him as opposite of Goliath. They could have done him as Giant Man, which would have been neat as well. But I get why they didn't, because they're trying to keep with the storyline, and Yellow Jacket was very important in this storyline. Alright, so here he is, and he's in his diminutive size, just stepping on a bottle cap. It's pretty fun. You have a die for Wasp, a die for Wasp, a quarter for Ant-Man, and then a bottle cap for Yellow Jacket. Which is very cool. Alright, so what does Yellow Jacket do for our team? He's dodging bullets. He has move, heroic. There is showing his giant form. He has move and attack, move and heroic, Heroic attack, wild, double wild, and then he has some pin particles. Place 1 move token from the pool on Shrink, or 1 attack token from the pool on Grow if they're face up in the storyline. So he has some starting cards, we'll get to those. He has another pin particle that has Heroic on the bottom and one that has attack. So it is going to add movement to his shrinking or attacking to his growing. So then he has his 2 starting hand cards. He has Shrink. As long as this card is face up on the storyline during the villain's turn, you may discard any number of tokens from this card to prevent the same amount of damage dealt to you. Neat. So yeah, he can place move tokens on there, and then you can discard them. I don't know why it really matters what token they are, if he's just using them to discard. Yeah, it's just preventing them to do that. So I guess the idea is supposed to be that he's moving out of the way. Just maybe thematic. And then he has Grow. As long as this card is face up at his starting during your turn, you may discard any number of tokens from this card to perform the same amount of attacks in your location. So cool. You can kind of save up and get some extra dodging or extra movements. Really different little character. Not too much to go on there. Then he also gets an equipment card. He has a Disruptor Stings. Use on your turn to deal 2 damage split as you like in your and adjacent locations. Turn this face down. And then it's exhausted. You have to remove it from the game. I don't know why he only gets 1 charge of these. But it's, pretty powerful. Pretty cool. Alright. Then we have another really cool model or miniature. Not another giant character, unfortunately. But we have good old Wonder Man, Simon Williams, who has semi-appeared in the cinematic universe. He was on a poster played by Nathan Fillion. But he is made of iconic energy. He's also a very interesting character. So Wonder Man is he keeps going back and forth from kind of like he's a hero to he doesn't want to do any. He'll still do heroic things, but he doesn't want to fight. Like, he got tired after Civil War and stuff with all the violence, and he kind of goes pacifist for a while. He's also best friends with Beast, which is really cool. Brother of Simon Williams, who's the Grim Reaper. Not the actual Grim Reaper, but the character Grim Reaper, the villain. But yeah, he's got some cool ionic energy powers. He's very powerful. So let's see what his powerful stuff brings to the game. He has double attack, heroic, move attack. He's got little jet blasters on. Kind of fun. Double attack, wild, and double wild. So he has invulnerability. You cannot take damage until the beginning of your next turn. He's got 2 of those. He's got 2 copies of Flight, Move, and then Wild. And then he's got Near Immortality. As long as this card is spaced up in the storyline, you start your turn with 1 card in your hand, draw 2 cards during your draw step. So, he has lots of good wild, some powerful cards he can do, but he also pretty much can't be damaged. So really fun there. And we need another female character in the game. We love our women in the Marvel Universe. We're going to get Tigra. Greer Nelson. So yeah, she actually got, I believe her powers were originally, she became transformed from this race of cat people. And I think she's in permanent cat form now, but yeah, she's been part of the Avengers for quite a while, different teams off and on. But now we can make a cat team. We have her, Feral, and Wolfsbane. I guess wolf, cat, feline team. And I guess you could throw Sasquatch in there as maybe the 4th member. There's another cat person in the game that I can think of off the top. Black Cat, if you want to stretch it a bit. Alright, so she's probably going to be pretty agile. So yeah, we're going to get movement right off the bat. And ferocious with her attacking. Heroic. move heroic, move attack, double attack, wild, double wild, and then she has tracking. Move to any location with a henchman, then attack there. Claws and fangs, unpreventable, double attack in your location. You won't see unpreventable too terribly often. Strong-willed, until your next turn, ignore any effect that would force you to play your next card randomly or face down. And then finally, she has reflexes. Ignore the first damage you would take the next villain turn. So pretty cool. Alright, so those are our 10 main retail characters. Then we have 2 more that are really fun inclusions if you get the Kickstarter stuff. We're going to start with the other Young Avenger we're going to get in this set, which is Hulkling. So here we have Hulkling. Teddy, I want to say his last name starts with R. I don't remember. So yeah, if you're not familiar with the Young Avengers storyline, just a quick brief one there, since we have 2 of them with Kate Bishop, was because the other Young Avengers, also you know, are available in the Kickstarter box sets. So we get some of the other ones in there, including Wiccan and Patriot, and Iron Lad is also one. Iron Lad was Kang from the future. He came back after the Avengers disassembled. Had said, hey, we need it. I don't want to be Kang. We needed the Avengers. He decided to get the second initiative. He activated a Vision unit because Vision had been destroyed. He activated it. Got some help from a Vision unit eventually, or Vision's programming, and he found a team of Avengers that were basically successors or offspring of them that even the Avengers didn't really know of. So 2 of them were, or one of them was Kate Bishop. They found she wasn't actually a direct one, but she ended up joining the team. She really loved archery. That's why she eventually became Hawking. She was Hawkingbird to begin with, then she eventually became Hawkeye. But yeah, one was Hulkling, who is a child of Captain Marvel and the Emperor of the Skrull. So he is half Kree, half Skrull. So in the comic book story, he eventually goes on to become the king of their the king of the Skrulls and everything. He kind of like takes over, gets protection from Super Skrull, which is really cool. And then we also, the other characters we don't have, we have Wiccan and Speed, who are Scarlet Witch's children. One's a magic user, one's a speedster. And then we have Patriot, who is the grandson of Isaiah Bradley, who is the original Black Captain America before Captain America became, Steve Rogers became Captain America officially. And then when Iron Lad had to go back to the future to become Kang, they had to decide he had to do it. His armor got taken over by the Vision programming. He became the new Vision for quite a while. Then there were other characters that joined in the later seasons, such as Kid Loki, American Chavez, Prodigy, and lots of those guys are, except for Prodigy, I think everyone else is available in the set. So, yeah, this is kind of cool. So he's a shape changer, and he's called Hulkling because when they first started out, they were trying to be the young version of the Avengers. So he was supposed to look like the Hulk, and he only used like his shape changing and become massive like the Hulk. Then later he started becoming like this, and he used dragon wings and other abilities. Teddy Allman, that's his name. Yeah, he's got Kree shape-shifting abilities, and then he got this sword from his thing. So he didn't have the sword during the Civil War storyline, but I think they're just trying to portray the most unique version of him. Alright, so what does he get to do for us? First of all, he has a special setup card called Impersonating. Place this card in front of you. Special rule. The Hulkling can use the special effects on hero cards placed next to his card as if it had been played by him in the storyline. However, that hero card is not considered to be either your hand or the storyline. So he has, at the end of your turn, if there's no hero card next to this card, you may choose the starting hand card of any hero not in play and place it next to this card. So a lot of those are like recovery abilities or things like that. If you're KO, remove that hero card from the game. It can't be chosen anymore. So yeah, in this game, we don't have a lot of starting hand cards. But he has Captain America's he could use, which lets him gain extra tokens, give out tokens, or when he recovers. What was the other one we had? Photon had hers, which let her perform extra attacks. Technically, Bill Foster has one. It's a free starting hand card, Goliath. And he does have... the other ones would be both of Hank Pym's. But his don't really do a whole lot. Because you wouldn't have any of the tokens. So yeah, some are going to be more effective than others. But yeah, it's still kind of cool that he has access to them. And it's just one of them also neat things. It's like the more cards you buy in the game, the more you're going to have. Alright, so what does he also do? He has movement, attacking, heroic attacking, movement, and heroic. There's on his throne there. He has heroic, move, attack, wild, double wild, and then he has metamorphic adaptation. Perform actions matching the symbols at the bottom of the hero card next to your impersonating card. So cool. So you just gotta match some symbols, so that makes a difference too. He's got one of those with heroic and one with attack. So really, his whole thing is he wants to copy the other abilities, which is neat. He does have a starting hand card himself, which is called Healing Factor. As long as this card's spaced up in the storyline, if you only have one card in your hand at the end of the villain turn, you may draw one card. So that's pretty fun as well. Then he also gets 2 special equipment cards. First, he has the Excelsior, famous Stan Lee saying, this is his sword. Permanent once during each of your turns, you may treat one heroic as an attack. At the end of your turn, you may discard 1 action token to give Excelsior to another hero. So yeah, you can spend an action token to keep passing this around and other players can use it. If it ever gets exhausted, turn face down is removed from the game, so it breaks it. His other one is really fun. It's the Nega Wedding Ring. So the Nega bands were used by Captain Marvel, where he turns into gets to turn into Captain Marvel. So someone turned a form of those into wedding rings for Hulkling and Wiccan when they got married. So use on your turn if Wiccan is in play, move to his location, or use on a villain's turn, ignore the first damage you take, then turn this face down. And if that flips over, it does have recharge. At the beginning of turn, if you're Wiccan, discard an action card, turn this card face up. And I believe Wiccan also gets one of these as well, which makes sense. So that's a really fun extra little card there. Then our last hero and second Kickstarter guy for this set is how could you have Civil War without Iron Spider? We already have a ton of Spider-Man cards, but what is it? Why wouldn't we want more? So here's Iron Spider hanging out with his Waldos, which are the name of his arms, on top of Captain America's shield. There's his arm out with like the repulsor blast type of thing. It's kind of fun. This is the Iron Man, the armor Iron Man designed for him when Peter Parker revealed his identity and became joined the things he wanted to protect his family. Later, he switched back over to Captain America's side. But yeah, cool gold and whatever. Also, additionally, it would be kind of neat if you could ever pick up a bunch of these, if they ever made a feature set, is there was the Iron Man, the Spider Iron suit got picked up later by a set of triplets, part of the Avengers Academy or training camp. It's just kind of neat as well. So then we have Iron Spider there. He is showing Peter Parker. I am Peter Parker when he first revealed his identity. Then, of course, led to the whole talking with Mephisto, erasing his wedding to Mary Jane, which now he's not married to Mary Jane anymore. That whole thing started with Civil War. Attack. Move, attack. move attack, move heroic, wild, and double wild. And then he has great power. So double attack for each thug defeated with the special effect that can occur and gain 1 heroic. And with great power comes great responsibility. Double heroic for each civilian rescue with his effect, gain 1 attack. So those are kind of fun ones that go back and forth. You get double attack for defeating thugs. You get tokens for potentially rescuing more civilians. And you can gain more civilians to gain attacks. My name is Peter Parker. Gain 1 wild token. Discard all crisis and exposed tokens you might have. I like the exposed tokens because that works with the exposed challenge in the original Spider-Man, the Enter the Spider-Verse set from the first series. That's kind of fun. We have a card that references back to that. Then he does get 1 starting hand card. He has Spider Sense. As long as this card is spaced up in the storyline once per villain turn, if a villain enters your movement in your location, you may immediately move to 1 adjacent location. It doesn't always protect you because sometimes they might bam and then do that effect in adjacent locations anyhow. Alright, and then we're going to end this with his 2 equipment cards. He has web shooters. Use on your turn to move or move 1 thug or civilian from an adjacent location to your location, then turn this face down. And you can recharge your web shooters by discarding an action token. Then he has his Waldos, which are his 3 arms. Use on your turn to heroic or attack, then turn this face down. And recharge, discard an action token to turn this face back up. So pretty cool. Iron Spider. That is what we have for this. Actually, I want to do one more thing quick before I end this. 1 sec. I wanted to compare Goliath to a Sentinel so we can see how tall he is in comparison. So we have Goliath here normally. And now let's put him next to Spider-Man. Pretty big. Or if we have like Captain America who's standing on the ground. So he's a decent size miniature compared to other guys. So then if we put him next to a Sentinel, which is our previous large size, the Sentinel is kind of bent down a little bit. He is a little bit shorter than him, but he also has a huge base difference. This is my painted Sentinel. But yeah, so he's pretty, but Sentinel standing all the way straight up. I think I have one here I can grab where he's standing straight up, so he's a little bit taller as well. So yeah, kind of straight up. So it is not quite as big of as a Sentinel even. The other oversized figures we're going to have in the game, as we do have, like I said, stature later on in the Kickstarter box set. But other than that, we're going to have Galactus and Fing Fang Foom. And I'm sure he is dwarving in size compared to both of them. Alright, that is what we have for the Civil War set. So yeah, if you're looking to get a bunch of more heroes, because you just need some more cool characters, you want an updated Iron Man, Captain America, you get the Kickstarter, you can get updated Spider-Man as well. Some neat stuff there. You want to start your Young Avengers collection or finish it off. Or you just want the PvP mode, which is really cool. Again, with the fact is you can mix and match any location, use them end of turn effects a lot more often. If you don't even like the Civil War part, just the Clash of Heroes is really fun. Just because it's competing against doing stuff, you can try out different heroes without having to maybe worry about the threat. It could just be even a fun way to just try out heroes. Who can rescue civilians and thugs and stuff the quickest and generate stuff. And just get play out heroes without having to directly compete with a villain in there, wherever their schemes and schematics are and their master plans. So alright, that is what we have for this video. Hope to see you guys in the rest of the Marvel United stuff. Hit me up in the comments. See you guys later. Bye.